Okay, you know what makes me happy? Can y'all give me an example? Like rain or dogs? I'm in confused.
Casabella and sex.
Champagne.
I was thinking about in relationship to grief. This is Every Widow Thing.
Hi, everyone. We're back in the studio. This is Kira, and I'm here with Holly, Lacey, and Whitney. And we're talking today about the good side of grief and everything that we've learned and everything that we take with us now that's positive on this sometimes difficult journey.
How has grief changed you for the better, or who are you today because of this loss that you're proud of? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's a good question.
Well, I'm definitely a much stronger person. I relied on Toby a lot, and I've become very independent.
You're the funny one now.
Well, I don't know about that. But, I didn't decide to start dating for 5 years. So I felt like I learned to be independent and learned to take care of myself. And I sat in the grief for long enough. And so now I'm ready to have fun and enjoy life.
I remember you saying on a walk something about Toby was always the extrovert, and now I'm getting to be the extrovert.
I feel like I'm more so. I mean, obviously not like him, but he was the life of the party and the wingman and like.
Oh, you've been a wingman.
I mean, I learned to walk into a party by myself,
Yes.
which, before he died, I would have been like, there's no way I would do that.
You get all this confidence. So I guess the upside is that you get all this
Becoming more
confidence and go,
confident.
yeah, I went to a Halloween party by myself.
You came to my
know?
4th of July party just knowing
I
me.
didn't know anybody in your
and
house.
you were literally in there swimming and talking out as if you'd been
so
a
the
part of the
upside
family.
of all of that is, and in whether it's confidence or not, I am not going to let this mean I miss out on my life. But the real driver, and I know this is you three, the real driver is I'm not going to let my kid miss out on anything and your children miss out on anything because this happened. It was already bad enough they lost their dad. This makes me emotional. But now I'm not going to let him miss out on anything else. The things that we would have done, he's not going to miss out on it. I'm going to figure it out.
One of the more positive things that came out of what happened to me and my family is just perspective. I definitely am better at being more empathetic or putting myself in someone else's shoes or like reading the room or thinking, well, you don't know what this person's been through or is going through. And I think that's something I've handed on to my kids. I think I've talked about this before. They're just super empathetic when it comes to anything, whether it's, family differences or lifestyle differences or choices that people make. I think it's just a really amazing thing that's come out of, unfortunately, having something really go horribly wrong in your life and just the appreciation that you have, not only for the good moments, but also for other hard things that people are going through, like you said.
It's also, I feel like I had lunch with a dear friend the other day that's having a really hard time, and I had no idea. To see them on social media, I thought, wow, I'm going to have to gussy up to go to lunch with this person because they're so stylish and so everything.
Was it
so
me?
Successful.
Was it me that you were going to lunch
Yeah,
with?
it was Whitney. And Whitney.
Was it that dinner we had the other night?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That was the girls took me out for my birthday the other night, and I mean, I have some fabulous looking friends.
We spend so much time just as a society looking at grief as this heavy albatross that we carry for the rest of our lives. But I do feel that I am resilient, and I know this now because I have had such a loss. I'm watching the David Beckham documentary. Have y'all watched it?
I started that.
Okay. The amount of stress and pressure that he had on him at 23. So I think I'm on like the 3rd episode or something, and it's going through the first time he was in the World Cup, and he actually got a red card in the game and was pulled out, and they had to play without him, and they lost. So the entire country of England hated him. He could not walk outside with somebody spitting on him or calling him out and saying terrible things every time he went onto the pitch. That's soccer talk, you guys. Pitch, football.
We know from
talk.
Ted Lasso.
Yes. Every time he went out onto the pitch, right.
That's actually true.
He was booed, and it was heart-wrenching to watch and listen to, and yet he survived it and is stronger because of it, has empathy. While I was watching it, I was like, oh, wow, that's just like our grief and the loss that we have suffered. I know I can handle things that in the past I probably would not have been able to handle or would have been
100%.
stressing about trying to handle it. And now I'm like, you know what? This could go seriously sideways and I'm going to be okay.
Have you noticed since the death of your husbands that you can really feel people's energy when they're not good? Like it's like you recognize grief and pain and suffering so much more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like Ryder says that too. And I think probably all of our kids are pretty empathetic because of what happened.
You guys and anyone who's followed us on Instagram may have heard that my dog, I tried surgery and it just sadly did not go well. And I had to make the hard decision to put him down. And the grief that was opened up from that, I mean, even right now, I want to cry about it, because you love something so much and then they're just gone, and I'm looking around and it kind of brought back all those memories of when Hunter was first gone. And it's like, wait, he was just here yesterday.
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about the dog. It's like, oh, that's his ball. I was literally just throwing that with him yesterday.
Sweet Wembley.
But also Wembley's part of your life with Hunter.
Yes.
Right.
So it was
They were either
heart-wrenching.
It's too much.
But the blessing in having the grief already there is that I know these feelings are temporary, or the depth of them, because I lost my husband and I can laugh and I'm not crying every day. So this deep sense of loss from my dog right now, I can sit in it a little more comfortably because I know there will come a day when I can look at his picture or a toy or something and just laugh and be grateful. And so it allowed me to feel it more deeply and get it out versus I think the first time you're trying to protect yourself and I don't want to feel it and I'm going to put up this wall and I'm going to distract myself. And so I recognize today because I got his ashes today in the mail.
Aww.
I know. And I was like, oh my gosh, why'd I get his ashes? Now I have 2 dead dog ashes and a husband's ashes and nowhere to put them. And what am I going to do? It's just going to be one solid wall of ashes.
I have my cat's ashes.
Yeah.
But you know how I know you're going to be okay?
It's because I'm joking.
Because
about
you're
it.
laughing about it.
Yeah.
It's so hard to feel this.
Yeah.
It's so
You
hard
can
to feel
borrow
it.
Opal.
I will borrow.
We have
Opal.
older dogs. So you were talking about how like Wembley and London were part of your life
Yeah.
with Hunter.
Yes.
So interestingly, we got a dog after Frank passed. My friends went out and bought this dog, which I know Lacey thinks that she's so ragamuffin.
She looks freeze-dried.
She's very ragamuffin.
That's
It was
hilarious.
so funny because that week when Wembley was sick and you were talking, texting with us, Gramercy is our freeze-dried rescue. She is the sweetest dog. But we got her as a therapy dog for the kids because they were 4, 9, and 11. And so she's been like a big part of the grief journey for us, right?
Yes.
She was sort of this tool that we
dog therapy.
offered the kids something to love on and they would love on her. And it's interesting because my son is super close with her. And, my son went off to college and I thought, oh my gosh, what if something happens to the dog, while he's away? And then, which is what happened
That's
to you,
exactly
I know.
what happened.
And then my youngest just said out of the blue, do you think Gramercy will die before I go to college? I said, I don't know. I'm dreading it because it's going to be a blow for my children, for sure, for all of us.
I think what also nowadays you get to help your dog with that transition. You can euthanize them. And it was so
I don't know how you did it.
hard.
Campbell was there, though,
grief.
right?
Campbell came and then my mom came. The ashes come and they give you a little book about grief. And I'm like, I don't need no book about grief. But I read it anyway. I read it anyway. And they did say one of the things that can happen is you start to rethink and feel guilty and second guess your choice. And that's what was happening. But And it's weird how grief messes with your brain too. I'm like, Wembley has memories of Hunter that just me and Wembley have. And if he's gone, then I'm the only one carrying the memory. You know, it's weird.
I think when that happens with anyone else or a pet, you wonder, what could I have done differently?
And look, it was hard because Hayden, my second kid, was away at college. He was very close to the dogs. I called him while at the vet to say, look, we're going to stop trying. You know, I think it's just time to say goodbye. And he was like, I don't understand why we're giving up. Like, I don't get it. It was like, I believe that you're making the best decision. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. And that was another thing that I probably should have done a little differently. When I was giving the updates, it was positive. He's eating today. The surgery went well. Instead of maybe also, painting a more realistic
Isn't that also
photo.
What happened with Hunter?
Yes.
With the kids.
Yeah. But they were young. I'm not necessarily sure that I should have. But it was more of a, wait a minute, what? I thought he was coming home. Or with Wembley, wait, what?
Yeah.
So that was hard.
It just goes to show that whether or not it's instant or a long illness or a short illness, the brain struggles to accept the end, right? The brain struggles to accept the concept of never again. This is the end.
Well, on a positive note, I mean, Wembley's cute little bark. I'm really going to miss Wembley's cute little bark. You know, that Pearl, my 13-year-old lab, barks when somebody comes over, well, and really often. But I've been like, oh, it's okay, you can bark.
Yeah, you're going to miss.
I've had a lot more empathy for Pearl's bark.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. I've had a lot of like anxiety over, she's 13.
They're old.
And same thing, like we got her with Toby.
It's going to be hard. Dog therapy, just like you said, Kara, that those dogs really helped us pull you out of your sadness, because it's just this unconditional love that meets you at the door every day.
Yeah.
So,
and we got Opal a year after Toby died, so she's our therapy dog.
What makes you happy?
I mean, I have a lot of things that make me happy. 2 years ago, I, with my mom and my sister, bought a house in Round Top, and I'm very grateful for that project.
To explain what Round Top is for people who wouldn't know.
It is a small town between Austin and Houston. It's an antique town known for the antique shows twice a year. And it's a cute little town. And I had been going there for 20 years on girls' trip. I'm grateful that I had the courage to dive in. And Toby and I had looked at houses to invest in, and we realized we couldn't do it financially. Yeah. But it was my place. Like, I went there with my mom and sister and friends. So it was kind of like my dream, and I'm happy I was able to do it.
You can follow it on Instagram.
The Poppy Round Top.
I liked, for me, same as you guys, like, I had to take over everything, obviously. And a lot of the time my brain would be like, oh, I don't understand that. That's what he does. And now I do understand it, sort of.
I was like, I'm not good at math. I can't,
y'all are both smart women. You just didn't want to.
You just allowed them to take over.
That was their job.
But one of the things that I have found helpful as the years go by is recognizing that my way is an okay way too. I was so diligent, especially after Hunter died, the first couple of years, of trying to do it exactly like he did it and keep everything the same. And I honestly would wait until Sunday and do like a Sunday budget meeting with just myself, sitting down and adding the receipts and doing the spreadsheets and keeping his spreadsheets and still using those. Yeah. And it was stressful, but that was the way that, I was like, this is the way we do it. Talk about empowering. Now I feel like, I know a way too, and my way is just as good. And it's okay if I don't put the receipts in every Sunday. I can handle the budget the way that is most comfortable for me. And that has been a gift.
It's empowering. And so when I was recently on this girls trip, so we're all shopping, and some of the women are checking in with their husbands, like, can I buy this
Yeah.
Or they're hiding what they bought from their
Can I
husband.
buy this handbag? Can I buy this piece of jewelry? And I mean, I'm just over there like,
Yeah, you're not asking him.
I'm like,
Right.
Kira, can you buy this handbag? And then you know what?
Handbag.
Kira was like, yes, get them both.
Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up for today's episode, but thank you so much for listening. The message at the end of the day is that there are some positives that can come out of this deep, dark grief, and we're encouraging you to look for them. All right, have a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon. This is Every Widow Thing.